The South China Sea is a vital artery for global trade, connecting the economies of Asia, the Middle East, and beyond. Every year, trillions of dollars worth of goods pass through these waters, making it one of the busiest and most important maritime corridors in the world. But the South China Sea is more than just a shipping route. It is a region rich in natural resources and strategic significance. This sea is fiercely contested by neighboring nations, each determined to protect their interests and assert their claims. The presence of military ships from multiple countries underscores the high stakes and constant tension that define the region. Beneath its waves lie valuable oil and gas reserves, as well as some of the world's richest fishing grounds. These resources are crucial for the economies and energy security of surrounding nations, fueling competition and conflict. Control over these waters means access to immense wealth and food security, making the South China Sea a prize of extraordinary value for those who can dominate it. China claims almost the entire sea, drawing a so-called 9-dash line that overlaps with the internationally recognized exclusive economic zones of the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei. These overlapping claims have led to frequent diplomatic clashes and confrontations at sea. In 2016, an international tribunal in The Hague ruled against China's sweeping claims, siding with the Philippines and upholding international maritime law. However, Beijing rejected the decision outright, refusing to alter its actions and further escalating regional tensions. For the Philippines, these waters are not just a matter of pride, they are essential for national sovereignty, food security, and economic survival. Yet, Filipino fishermen and Coast Guard vessels are routinely harassed and blocked by larger, more aggressive Chinese ships. Incidents like the 2025 water cannon attack on a Philippine vessel have become alarmingly common, highlighting the growing volatility and the real dangers faced by those who depend on these waters for their livelihoods. This conflict is about more than just resources. It is a test of international law versus power politics. China's use of aggressive gray zone tactics, such as deploying maritime militia and building artificial islands, is steadily shifting the status quo and challenging the rules-based order. The Philippines, no longer willing to stand by, is now shifting its defense strategy, investing in new naval capabilities, strengthening alliances, and preparing to meet this challenge head-on in defense of its sovereignty and future. Facing a powerful neighbor, the Philippines has launched an urgent military modernization program. Once focused on internal threats, the armed forces now prioritize external defense, investing in new ships, radar, and advanced missile systems. The goal: a minimum credible defense to deter aggression and protect maritime borders. U.S.-supplied missile systems like Typhoon and NMESIS now give the Philippines the ability to threaten hostile ships from land, creating a powerful deterrent. This marks a shift from a purely defensive stance to one that can impose real costs on any aggressor. Each confrontation in the West Philippine Sea has only strengthened Manila's resolve to upgrade its military. The message is clear: if international law is ignored, the Philippines will defend itself with credible force. This is about securing peace through strength, not seeking conflict. The Philippines' growing fleet of Black Hawk helicopters is transforming its military capabilities. These versatile aircraft enable rapid troop deployment, resupply of remote outposts, and maritime patrols across the archipelago. In crises, they provide vital medical evacuation and disaster relief, crucial for a nation often hit by typhoons. Blackhawks allow the Philippines to bypass Chinese naval blockades, sustaining outposts like the BRP Sierra Madre. By 2025, with nearly 50 Blackhawks, the Philippines will have a formidable airborne asset, signaling its commitment to defending its interests. These helicopters directly counter China's attempts to isolate Philippine forces, strengthening Manila's hold on its claims. The sound of Blackhawks over the West Philippine Sea is now a symbol of Philippine resolve. At the heart of the Philippines' evolving foreign policy is a renewed and strengthened alliance with the United States, marking a significant shift in the region's security dynamics. This partnership, once seen as a legacy of the Cold War, has gained fresh relevance as new challenges emerge in the Indo-Pacific. The 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, a cornerstone of the relationship, has been reaffirmed by both Manila and Washington. It sends a clear message to Beijing. Any armed attack on Philippine forces, vessels, or territory could prompt direct U.S. military involvement, raising the stakes for any potential aggressor. Under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the United States has gained expanded access to key Philippine military bases, particularly those strategically located near Taiwan and the contested waters of the South China Sea. This expansion is not just symbolic, it enhances the ability of both nations to respond rapidly to regional crises. With this access, the U.S. can now pre-position military equipment and conduct more frequent, complex joint exercises with Philippine forces. These activities deepen operational integration and embed the Philippines more firmly within the broader U.S. Indo-Pacific security network, strengthening collective defense. The United States is also investing in the modernization of the Philippine military, providing advanced weapon systems, specialized training, and real-time intelligence sharing. These efforts are making both militaries more interoperable and capable of facing modern threats together. This revitalized partnership complicates China's strategic calculations. Any aggressive move against the Philippines now carries the risk of drawing in the United States, making Beijing think twice before escalating tensions in the region. China can no longer assume it can pressure or intimidate its Southeast Asian neighbors without facing significant consequences. The balance of power is shifting, and the costs of coercion are rising. For Manila, this alliance brings renewed confidence. The Philippines is now better positioned to assert its sovereign rights, defend its maritime claims, and invest in building its own national strength, knowing it has robust support. Ultimately, the prospect of U.S. involvement fundamentally alters the strategic landscape of the Indo-Pacific, making the region more stable but also more complex and unpredictable for all players involved. The annual Balikatan exercises between the Philippines and the U.S. have evolved into full-scale rehearsals for defending Philippine territory. Recent drills involve thousands of troops and focus on maritime and air defense, often in areas facing the South China Sea and Taiwan. These exercises feature amphibious landings, live-fire drills, and the use of advanced missile systems, simulating real-world conflict scenarios. For China, these high-profile maneuvers are a direct challenge to its ambitions and a clear deterrent. Balikatan is no longer symbolic, it's a demonstration of a living, capable military partnership. The message, the U.S.-Philippine alliance is ready to respond to any threat. The deployment of advanced U.S. missile systems to the Philippines marks a significant turning point in the balance of power across the Asia-Pacific. For decades, the region has been defined by shifting alliances and growing military competition. But this move by Washington is a clear signal of its commitment to defending its allies and deterring potential adversaries. In 2024, the U.S. Army's Typhoon system, capable of launching precision strikes at targets over 1,000 miles away, including deep inside China, was deployed to the Philippines for the very first time. This advanced missile system brings a new level of reach and flexibility to U.S. forces in the region, and its arrival was closely watched by military analysts worldwide. The presence of the Typhoon system on Philippine soil forces China to fundamentally rethink its defense strategies. Beijing must now allocate more resources to counter this threat, potentially stretching its military thin and complicating its plans for regional dominance. Chinese commanders are now faced with a new layer of uncertainty in their calculations. Alongside Typhoon, the NMESIS anti-ship missile system has been deployed, creating a formidable no-go zone for hostile vessels in the West Philippine Sea. This system is designed to deny access to any adversary, making it far riskier for foreign navies to operate in these contested waters. With these deployments, the Philippines is rapidly transforming into a strategic launchpad for U.S. and allied operations. The country's geography now gives Washington a powerful foothold, raising the stakes for any potential Chinese military action and making the region's security environment more complex than ever before. For Beijing, the presence of such advanced and long-range weaponry so close to its shores is deeply troubling. It not only challenges China's military ambitions, but also sends a strong message about the resolve of the U.S. and its partners to defend their interests in disputed areas. The Philippines' defensive posture is now reinforced by U.S. firepower and expertise, making any act of aggression a far riskier and more unpredictable proposition for potential adversaries. Joint exercises and close cooperation further strengthen this new security architecture. The deployment of these missile systems signals the dawn of a new era of deterrence and strategic competition in the region, one that will shape the future of the Indo-Pacific for years to come. The Philippines is building a broader coalition to counter China's assertiveness in the South China Sea. Japan and Australia have deepened security ties, joining military exercises and providing patrol vessels and surveillance equipment. This trilateral, and sometimes quadrilateral cooperation presents a united front that complicates China's strategy. European nations wary of China's ambitions are also showing support, with Poland and the Czech Republic observing recent military drills. This growing network internationalizes the dispute, making it a global concern for freedom of navigation and the rule of law. China prefers one-on-one negotiations, but a multilateral coalition undermines its leverage. Each new partner adds diplomatic weight, isolating China and strengthening the Philippines' position. The world is watching, and Manila is no longer alone. China now faces a Philippines that is stronger, better equipped, and backed by powerful allies. Modernized forces and U.S. support mean any aggression comes with higher risks, including the loss of ships or aircraft. The Philippines' strategic location blocks China's access to the Pacific and serves as a key position in any Taiwan conflict. A pro-U.S. Philippines forms a southern barrier, restricting China's military freedom and creating a classic encirclement scenario. Diplomatically, Manila's coalition building undermines China's narrative and damages its soft power. China's gray zone tactics are less effective as the Philippines pushes back with its own countermeasures. The environment is now more volatile, with a higher risk of miscalculation. China must reassess its strategy as the Philippines emerges as a confident, well-supported challenger. The Philippines' rapid military rise, backed by allies, is reshaping the South China Sea's security dynamics. The once one-sided relationship with China is now a tense standoff, with Manila actively shaping its own security. Military modernization, a strong U.S. alliance, and global support have created a credible deterrent. China must now consider the real possibility of a forceful response from the Philippines and its partners. The internationalization of the dispute isolates Beijing and reinforces the legitimacy of Manila's claims. The region remains tense, but the emergence of a stronger Philippines introduces a vital new balance. The tides of power in Southeast Asia are shifting, and the Philippines has shown how smaller nations can stand up to a superpower.